Hey guys, what's going on? ThePrideOfLDN here. You guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Today we're going to have a pretty short video, just one little bit of news that I wanted to go over in this video. And I'll start off right now. The article titled, Ornstein claims some Chelsea staff are worried about signing Lampard once. So, one of the signing Lampard once. If you could guess who, I'm sure out of the ones that we've mentioned recently, you'd know who it is. It's Declan Rice. He is obviously one of our major targets in January, and if not, then through to the summer. He's young. He's 21, 22 maybe. Centre mid / DM that probably is our successor to Kante if we can bring him on board. Problem is, David Ornstein, who is generally considered quite reliable, believes there are some concerns from Chelsea over the potential signing of Declan Rice. As the football correspondent for The Athletic, Ornstein said to the publication's official YouTube channel that there were apprehensions emitting from specific sections of Stamford Bridge over taking the West Ham midfielder. That bit is annoying how vague it is, but obviously he's protecting himself so that, he's not outing anyone. But he's saying, there's sections of the club that are unsure on whether Declan Rice is all that. This could be sort of blown out of proportion. And this could be that there's maybe a defensive coach or an attacking coach or something like that that doesn't quite think Declan Rice is what we need. It could also mean, though, and it could not be blown out of proportion, that, we're talking about Abramovich doesn't think he's good enough, Marina, Petr Cech doesn't think he's good enough, all these players, all these staff that are on the board. And it would be a big problem if there's that sort of divide within the club. Sky Sports reported that a £50 million bid from the Blues was rejected by the Hammers last August, and this apparently hasn't deterred our hunt to go and get Declan Rice, but the fact that they rejected £50 million is concerning, because that surely means that, given the current world situation, they might be accepting a lesser fee. I've reported that they have been struggling for money recently, so maybe they would accept something less than 50 million. But even if they were they rejected 50, they might be looking for 60, 70, 80 million for Declan Rice. And whether Chelsea are going to go out and pay that in January, I do not think so. But it says Ornstein reaffirms that this determination to sign Rice is coming straight from Lampard's camp, with others at the club far more wary of recruiting one of their former products. He was quoted saying, Rice is a target driven by Lampard, and there are some at Stamford Bridge who harbour reservations, including over whether Rice has corrected certain perceived weaknesses that contributed to the decision to release him from their academy as a teenager, and also the sheer scale of finance it would take to get him out of West Ham. So clearly, it's either the board, I would guess, or, like we said, it's being blown out of proportion, but the sounds of it, given that they're talking about, corrections that haven't been made, they're concerned about the finances. That sounds like the board to me, and it's problematic if the board don't want to sign Declan Rice, because this could be another situation where Chelsea signs someone such as like Jorginho, came in under Sarri, manager was adamant that he had to have Jorginho. We have Jorginho. Now he's being phased out a few years into his career at Chelsea, and it's not great for him, it's not great for the club, because we're trying to sell someone who other clubs kind of know that we're not that interested in keeping, so it creates a difficult scenario. So, to those of you that don't want Chelsea to get Declan Rice, this could be, one in your favour, that we won't end up getting him because he'll be expensive, and the board and Lampard aren't aligning on this one, and they don't want him at the club. However, I think they're just going to back Lampard with it. I would be surprised if they say, you can't have him, we don't think it's a good idea. If we get to the scenario where Lampard still isn't performing, and the players aren't performing, and we're dropping points and we're dropping down to, the below 10th place and such, and we're looking well off 4th position, then there's not much chance at all that we'd get him. But if the club are looking to back Lampard, and they think, given our current squad, a bit of time, plus maybe the addition of Declan Rice into this squad, that we will be getting top 4, and then next season we'll be pushing on to try and close the gap to Liverpool and Man City, then in that scenario, yes, they will back Lampard getting Rice, and I think that's what we're currently going to see. We've got a few games coming up during the January transfer window, which they might be saying, let's see how this game against Fulham goes in the league. And then we've got Leicester at some point. We've got a couple games that I think we should be winning. And I think the board might be saying, let's wait until we see, we start seeing a win at Fulham, Leicester, Morecambe, of course, we expect a win. Wait till we start seeing these wins just to make sure that this isn't going like catastrophically wrong and we're about to buy a player for a manager that we might have to get rid of. So the board are probably being smart about it. This might take a few weeks into this transfer window for us to really push on with it. I, of course, will keep you all up to date with anything that does happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, the last week or two of this transfer window is when Chelsea start to push on for Rice. And even then, you know, the board aren't sure if it's a wise decision to finance this deal, because we let him go when he was 14. We now want him back. West Ham rejected 50 million. Maybe there's a chance that the current worldwide issues have caused, you know, the West Ham would accept somewhere near 50 million now. That's possible. But it's also possible that they're going to say, no, we want to keep our guy, we'll sell other players to keep the club afloat. And that means that Declan Rice is still going to be, you know, if they reject 50, then I'm thinking around 70 million at least. So it's a tricky situation for the club. So I'll keep you guys up to date with anything that does happen. Personally, I hope we do go in for Rice, but the finances do have to be right. For me, I think 50 million is about where I'd go, up to 60 maybe, and I'd be happy with that. But anything more, I'm starting to get to the Ben Chilwell situation where, you know, I think he's a good player. I think he'd you know, improve our squad, but the money is getting a bit ridiculous at that point. So, as I said, I'll keep you up to date. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Goodbye.